Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of the Brainstorm here in the 4 News Now YouTube channel and Brainstorm newsletter. Well, here we are. It has been another cool spring. We've all been waiting for the warmer weather, and it is coming, and it is coming in a big way. How would you like to be 20 degrees warmer by the end of the week than we will be at the start? Because that's what we're going to see. Here's the simulation of what we expect in the atmosphere as we head into Friday and early next weekend. And basically, high pressure slides in across the entire west coast, and so we're going to be heating up out west. Meanwhile, a big storm system moves through the northern plains and into the east, and they will be cooling off quite considerably as we begin, or kind of end April and begin the month of May. And that is a huge flip-flop in our weather pattern from what we have seen the majority of the time so far here in 2023, and really going back into late last fall and early last winter, November and December, where it was very warm in the east, and we have had chilly weather, not always wet weather, but decently wet conditions across the Pacific Northwest, and definitely very wet conditions for our neighbors to the south in California. Well, take a look. I told you, 20 degrees. I mean, it is going to be legitimately 20 degrees warmer in the afternoons by the time we get to Saturday compared to what we will be seeing on Monday. That is a sign that winter is over. Spring is here for sure, if I have ever seen any. And we're pretty confident in these numbers here as well. You know, temperature forecasts, with the exception of some of those cold Arctic outbreaks, is a little bit more involved there, but usually things get pretty on the dot. And I'll take a look here. This is I've used this a bunch before in these videos, but this is called the National Model Blend. So it gives us an idea of what's the most likely kind of temperature range we're going to be in. That's what shows in these red boxes. So you notice here as we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, these 3 days are highly likely to get up into the 70s. The most likely range here, 70 to 76 on Friday. Talking about 73 to 78 on Saturday. 70 to 77, the most likely range. So that's kind of the middle 50% or so of potential outcomes. So the potential for a chance for, in this white line, the chance for temperature 70 or higher, over 70%, on Friday, over 80% on Saturday, over 70%. And this is a good ways out as well. I mean, we're talking about 5, 6, 7 days away. So, yeah, just goes to show you this is something we're pretty confident in. And my goodness, it is going to feel so different around here. Just getting up into the low 60s has been a struggle thus far this spring. Now, the last time it was 70 degrees, it was back on October 19th. Last time we were in the mid-70s was all the way back in early October, 10 days before that, on October 9th. Average first day in 70 degrees, even though our average highs are kind of in the 50s and 60s in the month of April. Our average first day about 70 degrees is usually around the 17th of April. So usually we get these, we'll get periods of much warmer weather, and then we'll get cool periods. Well, we've basically mostly had cool periods, and that's about it. The very brief moments where things have been warm so far this year have really only gotten us up into the 60s. Now, this is something else worth noting, why I said, hey, spring's at an end here pretty much officially, because look what happens here. So this is the Climate Prediction Center outlook for temperatures May 1st through May 7th, so not the upcoming week here, but the week after that. And what do you know, the bullseye for above average temperatures is basically sitting right over the end of the Northwest. So, yeah, better get used to warmer temperatures. I might be out here wearing shorts, considering how chilly it's been and how kind of your body adapts to those sorts of things. So it is going to be quite a change, and we're going to see some probably by this point, May 1st through May 7th, we're going to see a lot of rising rivers around the region as well, because consistent temperatures in the upper 60s and into the 70s, that'll melt some snowpack fairly quickly. So that'll be something that we'll have to watch as we get into that time frame. But for now, we could just sit back and enjoy some of this weather. Now, there is one particular issue that I am a little concerned about as we go into this pattern, And let me show you. Now, we did pick up some rain on Sunday, which was amazing. Our first real thunderstorms of the year here on April 23rd. But I want you to see this here. So the green line is the precipitation we've had so far this year. The brown line is the average. And we basically touched average, or got above average very briefly, back on the 13th of January when it comes to moisture in Spokane. And we are not even close. At this point, we have, it's hard to read the numbers here, so I'll do that for you. So far 4.1 inches, probably 4.15 at least now, with the unofficial rainfall totals from Sunday, officially for Spokane, and our normal for this point of the year is around 6.25 inches. So this is not an ideal situation, I'll tell you this. And granted, 1 year, you can't really compare it to the other, but there is a comp that I want to show you. And that's 2021. Now, we all know what happened in spring of 2021. It was the driest spring on record, or at least one of the driest springs on record, and it led into an extremely dry and hot summer. And, well, with the potential here, with El Nino skulking around potentially for this summer and fall, and that could certainly kind of tip the scales towards having another fairly warm and toasty summer here in the inland Northwest. Getting all the spring rain we need is important for several reasons: for water supply, for keeping kind of everything a little bit moist. One of the things when we talk about fire danger and things like that and drought is just the moisture that's in the soil. That's been hard to get over the past few years, simply because of how hot and how dry the temperatures have been over the past few summers. So this is going to be something for us to monitor. It's not panic time yet. Certainly, this could all change with one good thunderstorm later on as we head into May and June. Which, of course, some of the rainier months that we see as far as the warm months of the year. But this is something that we got to watch here, especially when you look at the extended patterns. So here's the next 3 months: May, June, July. Temperature outlook: a small chance of above average temperatures in the Pacific Northwest. This is very somewhat El Nino consistent. And then here we go. This is what I'm most concerned about. And this is something that's been hinted in the long-range climate models here for some time, those that go out 3, 6, 7, 8 months, is a fairly decent odds that here the Northern Rockies, the Cascades, and the Columbia Basin is going to have a pretty dry end to spring and a pretty dry start to the summer season. So that is something that we are going to have to keep an eye on closely. And although this is a welcome change with temperatures, it also is going to be very dry here for at least the next week. And I don't see anything beyond that that looks super crazy as far as giving us some good soaking rain. So that's going to be something that we got to keep a close eye on here, friends. And we'll certainly do that, keep you updated with everything that goes on here, all those trends that we keep an eye on here in the First Alert Weather Center. So, with that said, that concludes this edition of the Brainstorm. I want to thank you for watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and sign up for the Brainstorm newsletter right now on KXLY.com. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.